You might have clicked on this video looking to find some secret setting to improve your gameplay, but in reality, everything you'll find here are the settings that make me play better and make the game easier for me. I also may or may not have copied some of my settings from pro players and content creators. Let's get into it. Let's go over the basic settings. Aim assist. This setting assists your aim and there's no shame having it on because even pro players use it. It's triggered whenever you're ADS'd, whenever you're firing, and whenever your joystick is activated. If you ever decide to have this on, have a soft touch when you know the aim assist is activated to avoid overcompensating on your aim. Fast throw. This allows you to throw lethals and tacticals fast, but personally I have it off because I want to be able to cook my nades, and sometimes I pull my grenade or a trophy out to run faster. Quick run from prone. If you want to be able to get up from prone without pressing any buttons, have this on. Be careful though, because your thumb might slide over to toggle quick run by accident. Although I can see the appeal if you want to move while prone without having to hold onto your joystick the whole time. Joystick auto sprint. This setting is useful if you gotta keep running while you activate your score streaks or when you want to expand your minimap but still be on the move. I personally have this on for that purpose, although with the meta right now is having dead silence while walking around the map to sneak on enemies, you might want to have this off. Fixed R fire button. Turn it on if you have your fire button on the right, unless you want to be able to fire whenever you tap and hold on the right side of your screen. Fixed joystick. Having this setting off allows you to control your joystick wherever your thumb may be on the left side of the screen, and having it on fixes its position and will only be toggled when you actually touch the joystick itself. I don't know how you want to touch your joystick, but I want my joystick to be free. Fixed virtual joystick display position. I have this setting on originally because I don't want my joystick moving around having the fixed joystick off. Now that my joystick is at 10% opacity, it doesn't really matter, but I still have it turned on. Right fire button for fixed perspective. This setting when turned off allows you to move your aim when you're using the right fire button. It's great for 2 to 3 finger players, but if you're playing with a dedicated finger for the right fire button, you might want to have this setting on. Release R fire button off shotgun to hip fire. If you have your shooting mode set to hip fire on shotguns and you have this setting on, your shotgun will only fire when you release the R fire button. Honestly, I don't think a lot of people know about this setting and I personally recommend you to have it off. Hide prone button. Hold crouch to prone. I've seen pros have this setting on, having to tap and hold the crouch button in order to prone, but I have it turned off because I still like having a dedicated button for whenever I want to prone or drop shot, and I don't mind the extra space it takes on my screen. Continuous grenade throw. This setting is useful if you're running tactician or shrapnel, allowing you to throw your equipment in quick succession, especially if you're making an entry in the game. Having it off makes you switch to your weapon after throwing an equipment. ADS button for rotation. As I always say, have your ADS button rotation turned off so you completely control your aim with whatever finger you use. If you have it on, you'll be able to move your aim while your finger is on the ADS button. This setting only applies when your aim button is on the right side of your screen. Quick weapon switch. Quick weapon switch makes your weapon switching faster, so it's a no-brainer to have it on. Perspective teammate. This setting allows you to see your teammates through walls so you know their exact location all the time. Other devices don't support it, but if you want more info, especially if you're a solo player, have it on if your phone can handle it. Split throw button. This is a setting I have always turned on since its release because I get to toggle exactly the equipment I want to use, then when having it off, having to toggle that small switch button before you can use the other equipment that you want to throw. Slide hit. This is useful for people who keep on tapping their crouch button to slide, not knowing that they aren't sprinting yet. I'm one of those people in the past, so I had it on. But since I already know the feeling of when I can slide, I have my buttons on the lowest opacity, so yes, it's kinda useless right now. One tap weapon switch button. Enabling this setting will give you this button. You'll see that I have this setting on because of how my HUD is set up. I want to be able to see how much ammo I have, but I don't want to tap on there because it might be hard to reach at times. Shotgun hit reminder. This is one of the settings that I don't bother turning on because shotguns are supposed to be one shot, one kill, and if you hit mark, you'd probably die, or if you're lucky, you can't take another shot or pull out your secondary and finish the kill. There's another setting later in the video that I'd rather have turned on. Weapon inspection. Having this setting on gives you this button right here for faster weapon inspection. I don't really do a weapon inspection unless I'm making thumbnails, so I'm sticking to the old-fashioned way of hoggling the weapon inspection from the emote button and having the setting off. Jump button supports jump and climb. This is one of the worst things that they added, as it doesn't really make the gameplay smooth if you have it turned on. You need to spam the jump button in order to climb obstacles, whereas if you have it turned off, just face a wall, tap on the jump button, and it will automatically climb for you. I have it turned off because it makes going over obstacles more fluid, and if it does not trigger climb, I spam the jump button anyway. Mythic weapon projection. This is a setting for skinners because you can share your mythic weapons to other players given that you have your mythic weapon maxed out. I personally don't max out my mythic weapons, so I have this turned off. I'm sorry, F2P players. Enable left hand tactical. You can have this setting on if you plan on making entry with your tactical equipment without having to put away your weapon. Keep in mind that it's for tactical equipment only, so you'll still put away your weapon when handling lethal equipment. Enemy tactical scope flash. Having this enabled lets you see a flash whenever an enemy is using a scope, but for some reason it doesn't work on my device. I tried switching maps, switching scopes, weapons, but to no avail. I'm gonna need your help on this one down the comments. Show number of mythic projection. The setting shows you how many you have shared. Maybe it's this one on the HUD? I don't know, like I said, I haven't shared mythic weapons before, so again, help me down the comments. Sync ADS FOV to scope zoom. Having this setting turned on removes your zoom whenever you ADS, and it's a feature that's useful for people playing on bigger screens. I personally have it off because I play on the phone, so the scope zoom is actually useful for me when tracking targets. Weapon inspect while sprinting or jumping. Having this setting on is just for people who want to be able to inspect their weapon while they sprint or jump. I have it on because I use it for making thumbnails. Network instability, damage loss alert. I guess this setting's for the game to alert you that you have a bad network connection. Have it on if you want. Teammates marker. Having this setting on puts the number assigned to your teammates on the scoreboard to the mini-map so you know who's who all the time. It's a great addition with the perspective teammate setting. Damage number. Damage number allows you to see how much damage you deal per bullet or pellet on your enemy. Then, you can adjust the transparency to where it won't distract you. I think 69 is the best for this setting. ADS setting. For the ADS settings, we have 4 options. Tap to ADS requires you to tap to scope in and out of your weapon. Tap and hold to ADS requires you to hold down the ADS button in order to scope in and let go to scope out. Hybrid ADS is a merge of the first 2 options, but you need to have a feel for it and it might be confusing if you're trying it out. And never use the last option, which is double tap to ADS, because it's just too slow. I personally use tap and hold to ADS because I am using 5 fingers, and that's my left middle finger tapping and holding on aim, and my left index finger firing my weapon. Display left fire button. Display left fire button is for players who want to have 2 fire buttons, but since I have a dedicated finger for a fire button, I hide the ADS to fire button and use the left fire button for firing. Slide while running. It's a no-brainer to have tap crouch while sprinting for sliding because it just makes the movement more fluid and you can slide way quicker than having hold crouch while sprinting, making sliding very clunky and your sliding will be delayed waiting for your hold to register. Always sprint. I have this setting off with the sprint sensitivity set to 82 because as you know, walking with dead silence is the way of whatever game mode you play so you can sneak around your enemies. Having this setting turned on makes you sprint anytime you move your joystick, so try not to have it on. Gyroscope. I have gyroscope turned off because I like having fewer variables within my aim, being entirely dependent on my finger. Camera FOV. I have my camera FOV on 65, being the perfect marriage between a wide enough FOV where you spot enemies on corners and a tight enough FOV where you can see enemies from long range. This may vary depending on your screen size, so test what's the best for you. FOV FPP. This setting widens or tightens how you see whatever you're holding onto. You can have it on 100 to make your gun seem slimmer so you see more of your surroundings. Optic sight distance. Since we're talking about FOV and all that, let's go over optic sight distance. Having it on 100 pushes the sight away from your face, making it look smaller. I can see this being useful if you're tired of losing your enemy whenever they drop shot when you're using a sight, but it's one of those settings where it's a personal preference. I'll have mine on 50%. Here are my marker settings, my minimap settings, and as for my graphics settings, I have my frame rate on ultra and for some reason my phone defaults it to low graphic quality. If you want to be competitive in the game, push for the highest frame rate that your phone is capable of. I also have anti-aliasing and real-time shadows on, while realistic scope is turned off. Here are my audio settings that's built for having the best in-game sound without much distractions, and here are my effects settings that's basically untouched for more than a year now. Here's my 5-finger HUD. I moved some things around. The first thing is my weapon HUD, which shows me my ammo. That was on the lowest opacity before and made me lose gunfights just because I wasn't aware of my bullets in the mag. Everything else is just nudged to fit comfortably for my hands and fingers. As for my sensitivity, I still have it untouched for a long time, besides maybe the speed acceleration value being set to 120. Although I kinda wanna adjust my sensitivity to the slower side because I'm having trouble with it being too sensitive for my liking at times. Don't copy everything you see from this video. Instead, take what you can incorporate and make your gameplay a lot more fluid and will make your life easy in the game. By the way, do you know the difference between realistic scope turned on or off? You can learn more about that right here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.